Shalom, it's Tehila from the Kifar. I have been teaching Hebrew online since 2015. And in this video, I am going to share with you a few of the ways that I use Canva in my live virtual classes. So if you're not familiar with Canva, it is a graphic design platform that lets you create presentations, ebooks, and all sorts of visual and printed content. And so it's not specifically a teaching tool. It really wasn't necessarily designed for the classroom, but it's incredibly valuable. And like I said, I've been teaching online since 2015, and this is easily one of the top three tools that I love and use for teaching language online. And so I'm going to show you a few of the activities or a few of the ways that I use Canva to engage my students in our live online classes. And so one of the things that I like to use Canva for is a modified version of Calendar Talk. And so Calendar Talk was the brainchild of Tina Hargadon. And it's basically a conversation that you have at the beginning of class with your student or with your students about what's going on that day or that week, whether you're talking about the weather or you're talking about holidays, birthdays, activities that they have planned. It's really personalized and just depends on the students that you have in your class and what they have going on. And so most of my sessions are one-on-one with adults. And so we'll often look at the calendar as a whole. We'll talk about the day, the date, holidays, and things that are coming up. So the reason why I really love doing this in Canva is because of the elements and the text features. So it's easy for me to just write things and add things into the calendar as students are talking about them as they bring them up. And also with the elements, there are lots of icons and pictures and GIFs or GIFs, I'm not sure how you say that, and lines and shapes and all sorts of things that we can, again, add to the calendar right as they're talking to make the language more comprehensible. And then if they look back on it and they aren't really clear on what the words mean, they have the images there to help them out. So in my class, we might talk about the students' work schedule, meetings that they have coming up, birthdays, holidays, all sorts of things. Okay, and another benefit to doing calendar talk every class is it's a really great way to teach days of the week and numbers in context. Another thing that I like to do is also go over the weather. And this can be, for a lot of people, it's also something that they do as a part of calendar talk. I tend to do this with some of my younger learners, but it's a great activity for older learners as well. And as we talk about the different weather conditions, whatever the weather is that day, I can just drag those icons into the window, and whatever's not, we can leave to the side. And then at the end, I like to just do a write-up of what's going on that day, the weather conditions, and there's space here for me to do that as well. And so if there are icons that I want to add at any point, I can do that really easily by going to the Elements tab. If I want to add a new text box, I can just copy anything that's existing, or I can just go to text and add another text box. There are lots of fonts and lots of colors and styles to choose from. So it just makes it really easy, and I can do all of this from one window while I'm in class. I don't have to navigate anywhere else. I can make adjustments directly in Canva, which is great. I also love using Canva for text, and this is a sample of a longer text about Kamala Harris. And the way that I generally set up the text is I have my question words, and I have this document linked in the description if you're interested in it. And I also have a space for additional vocabulary words. So as students ask, how to say something, or if there's something in the text that they don't really get, I can put that on the side under the vocabulary. And then the main text takes up most of the page. Another great thing is, let's say there's an image that I want that isn't available in the elements or in the photos. I can find a photo anywhere online and I can upload it into Canva, which is what I did with these two pictures. Okay, so Canva does have an extensive library, but in the event that you need a picture that's not there, if you're preparing something beforehand, you can download the picture and upload it into Canva. And so this slide was from a presentation that I put together for one of my group Hebrew classes, and we were just sharing different facts about one another. And one of the questions was, what time do we go to bed and what time do we wake up? And so beforehand, I put this text up here. This is the question, and then the answers here for the students, the sentence starters for whoever needs it. And then I just put a blank table down at the bottom and put each student's name at the top of the table. And I just, for privacy reasons, have the names covered with this bar. And then in class, as students are taking turns answering the times that they wake up and they go to bed, I'm just typing in their answers here in real time. And because I'm sharing my screen, all of the students are able to see it. And so once everyone's response is recorded, then we can continue the conversation. I can ask questions like who wakes up the earliest, who wakes up the latest, who goes to bed the earliest, who goes to bed the latest, who wakes up at 7, who goes to bed at 10:30, etc. It provides all the information there for them. So nobody has to worry about trying to remember what other students said or trying to write down as other students are talking. They can really just be present and focus on listening and understanding. And so the last activity that I want to show you is a story building, or it's called story asking. You'll find a lot on story asking. And it is essentially, I have a script to a story, but there is a lot in the script that comes from the students. So instead of, it's not so much storytelling and that I have the story and I'm telling them the story, I'm giving parts of the story and then I'm soliciting details from the students. Okay, so this was the story of a girl who was in the 11th grade, and these details have come from the students, and she is learning online because of the pandemic. And you'll see some of the vocabulary on the side as they want to say things and they're not sure how to say them, then the students just ask, and I add the vocabulary on the side so that we can use them. And she generally learns at home, but today she's tired of learning at home. She doesn't want to stay home. She wants to go somewhere else, but she needs 3 things, okay? And the students decided on these 3 things that she needs in order to successfully study somewhere else. She needs quiet, she needs comfortable seating, and she needs outlets, okay? And we talk about the reasons why she needs quiet, why she needs these comfortable seats, why she needs outlets. So the first place that she goes to is a cafe, specifically Dunkin' Donuts, again, coming from the students. She has a math class. These sort of details all come from the students. We just have the base of the story. And then we talk about what's happening in the cafe. So in this particular cafe, the seats were comfortable. There was lots of outlets, but the customers were super loud. Okay, and so as we go through the story and build the story, we're just telling the story with pictures and orally. So the pictures, again, I'm just pulling from the elements as we're going through the story, and I'm telling the story and narrating a lot and asking a lot of questions just to get a lot of repetition of the language. Okay, so with story asking, a lot of teachers will draw, which if I could do, I absolutely would, but I can't. And so Canva is a fantastic alternative because, again, almost every single image that I can think of and any sort of picture that I want to include in the stories is available under the elements. And there are also lots of options under photos as well. Okay, so these are just some of the ways that I use Canva in my online classes, aside from just creating presentations and all sorts of other materials. And so I want to hear from you. Are you using Canva in your online classes? If not, is it something that you are going to start? What sorts of activities do you think Canva might be really well suited for in your classroom? And let me know your thoughts in the comments below, okay? And so if you're interested in learning more about Canva and ways that you can use it in your online language classroom, or if you're interested in teaching language online privately, visit my website at thekifar.com, and the link is in the video description below. That's it, and I'll see you for the next video. להתראות.